Good morning everyone. Today we're talking about street photography in San Francisco. If you're ready, let's go. Alright guys, welcome to a new special episode during a normal day. I want to share with you my street photography setting, what I'm shooting, how I'm shooting it, because I've been dropped off in San Francisco today for a few hours, and it's not sunset, it's not sunrise, which means I'm not having the epic conditions. It's gonna be kind of regular day, which maybe you can relate. You're on your way to work, you're on your way to a friend, you want to grab a few shots, you don't have time to be out there for the special light. Well, today is the day, it's happening to me, so let's see what we can make of it. And the first thing I do when I get in a new city and that I don't really know the place is that I get as high as possible just to have an overview of the city, understand how it is. And I think I made it to one of the toppest streets right now. We've got like epic streets going down that way, epic streets going down that way and that way too, which means with the 85mm and some compression, it's gonna look sick. Wow, so that street looks really good. What I really like is the depth you have with those streets. Like they're very long, they're going downward, which means you can actually have people like split off of the background when they're crossing. If you see them cross, then they're kind of floating in the air, maybe with the bridge in the background, and I really like that. In terms of settings, I'm kind of shooting Aperture Priority right now, simply because I just want to change my depth of field, and that's the only thing I want to control. I want to leave it to the camera. The camera is doing a great job at finding the rest of the settings, and since we have so much changing light, whether we're looking in that direction or that direction, I'm just kind of lazy, if I'm very honest with you. And if it works, why not? I mean, focus on what matters, which are the photos, the stories, what you're trying to shoot, and not the settings. Guys, I always shoot a little burst just to make sure I have a little bit of action, you know, like people moving in and out, forward, backward. The leg movement is very important if you want people to stand out, and also sometimes like that happens, like cars just literally get in the way and then it kind of ruins your shot. Always the problem I have at the back of my mind is with that is, do I want like shadow depth of field? Do I want long depth of field? I like deeper. The thing is, if I shoot very shallow, like 1.82, I might miss my subject just because it's hard to focus unless I go manual. So sometimes I shoot a little bit higher, maybe a 4, and since I'm low on the ground and shooting really into it, it doesn't really cause too much of a problem, but it's definitely something I always have at the back of my mind. Now we're gonna go a little bit higher just to see what it looks like, and I really get excited by those shots. Although it might be classic or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're happy with it, if you're having fun, if you're getting excited by what you're creating, that is what really matters. Wow, okay, so absolutely love those buildings, they look really cool. Managed to get an old guy like walking up those like the steep hill, and I kind of like it because to me it tells the story of San Francisco, like really having to go up. It really shows the effort you have to do, especially when that person is a little bit older in the photo. It shows up a little bit more than if it's a young person. Now I'm going back onto the very famous one, which is California. I think we can get some cool shots with the bridge in the background because it's gonna show up. I'm gonna show you in a second. Should be really cool. That looks sick, and I just put the camera in super crop mode to get like a APS-C mode so that I can zoom in a little bit more. And there is something on this side also. Look at that. That looks really cool, like those like windows and stuff with the shadows. I actually took a shot of it like vertical. Kind of really like it, but I want to get a better shot of that one because I'm missing something, a subject in my frame, and let's see what it can do. We gotta take it slow. I got someone crossing, that's all I wanted. I'm gonna pin that location and maybe try to come a little bit later if I have time. Supposed to go back down the hill now, but super excited because it looks really good. Let's see what it looks like so far. Woo! Yes, I did get someone crossing between the cars with the train also, so that looks kind of cool because it just adds a little bit of story into the shot. Otherwise it's just the cityscape alone with the blue sky. It's a little bit boring.
So, never thought I'd own it. Now on a mission to kill every single opponent. Oh, they ask him but they don't want it. The answer to all their questions is simply just a proponent.
Alright, so now we're getting by Chinatown. I'm walking down, you can see we already have the building over there. It looks pretty cool. And there's something that I really love to do, and is keep us kind of serious. I've been trying to do that more and more, where instead of shooting kind of everything, I'm gonna choose my one lens and then I'm gonna try to do a little series with that one lens. And obviously, like I mentioned, those are the kind of shots. So if you were thinking, well, those are classic shots, etc., it doesn't matter because I'm trying to just get that series and get a bunch of different shots in the same ambience. And that is something I really love to do lately, and I try to do it more and more. It pushes also my way of perfectioning something very small versus trying to just get everything right. I'm trying to get a few things better and better. That looks really good downtown. I kind of like it a lot. We've got a ton of different architecture. And just a quick hack, if you're shooting Aperture Priority, there is something you should always be using, is that little button right here with the exposure compensation. It really helps when you don't want to have to change the settings, when you don't want to go in manual, to make it darker or lighter, especially when you have a very high dynamic range like here. Maybe you want to be focusing on the shadows and not on the highlights, so it really helps me. Alright, so I'm gonna change things up a little bit. I'm gonna use a polarizing filter this afternoon because the sky is really blue and I think we kind of have dark tones and it's gonna look a little bit better. So I'm gonna put the polarizer on the 85 millimeter, and I think it should look pretty cool. Gotta say, kind of miss my orange backpack. That one's great, but the color doesn't pop at all when you take photos or when you want photos of you taken. It's just a tiny.
There's nothing to show, but what you wanted wasn't guaranteed.
Also, quick last hack, make sure you get adapter rings so you can adapt like bigger filters on your smaller lenses. Otherwise you're gonna spend a ton of money when you could be buying flights, or you could be buying awesome trips for yourself instead of filters, because that's a better way to use the money in my opinion. Alright, it should be good. I'm running out of battery. I had 3 batteries, one is dead already, another one has just like 12% left, and that one is full, so I'm gonna have to juggle and keep shooting with 12%. I hope that's gonna be enough, but for that video it should be good, and when I'm out of the battery I'm gonna have to stop that video, guys. So alright, let's get back out in the street. Wow guys, look at that structure in the background. That looks absolutely epic. This is apparently a transit center. And it's pretty cool. I just shot it a little bit like with an angle, and with the polarizer the sky actually looks really dark. So it's kind of cool. I don't know if we can go up. I know there is something up, like some kind of garden, so we should have a different perspective on the whole thing, which should look cool. Pretty excited. Always trying to find new places. I mean, I know nothing here, so everything's kind of new and exciting. Definitely use a polarizer when you feel that the light is a little bit like too boring for you. If you want to cut out a little bit of that blue in the sky, make it a little bit darker, looks great. Guys, look at that. Even with those, like all those leading lights and everything, makes for really cool photos here with a wide angle. I was really hoping that I would be able to get closer, but there's a little barrier here, because that like kind of S-curve with the road and the pillar can look really, really good. But there is no way I can get closer, so I should have like a giant pole, tripod or drone or something, which I don't have with me. You can see over there, pretty cool shot. I gotta say, I'm gonna check on Instagram later to see if other people did it or not, because that seems pretty obvious. Not just sure if it's literally possible to get it or not. But look at that. I mean, the whole section looks very interesting and different in my opinion. I was actually playing a lot with those plants you see around me because I thought, what if I could actually integrate that background, which is very urban, with all those plants that are coming from all around the world. That garden is actually really sick. So I worked a lot on that. Not sure if that kind of worked. I think it did. At least was one of those tower plus tree. I kind of like it. It just gives a lot of contrast into this image. It's something you don't see very often, like having so much different nature in the middle of a downtown. That is completely unique. In my opinion, at least from what I've seen in cities. Remember, when you go out there and shoot, don't hesitate to leave your camera in aperture priority, just have fun, just shooting, concentrate really on what you're trying to shoot, maybe a little bit the story, your composition, and don't overthink your settings, because otherwise you're gonna get crippled and you're not gonna start shooting. And with that being said, guys, I'll talk to you, see you in the next episode. We're gonna go to Japan and the Philippines. Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So make sure you hit that notification bell, otherwise you won't be notified, you won't see when the next video comes out. And last but not least, remember, get out there, go shoot, try something different, try something new. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.